Hey guys, it's your girl Maria Park, and this is Approach the Nerd, and we are here to talk about Power Rangers Dino Fury Episode 7. I wanted to have this video out this morning, but I had some internet issues, so unfortunately I'm doing a live stream because you know what? What the heck not? Episode 7, entitled Stego Search. If you saw in my description, I pretty much said that this episode showed me kind of child abuse in full scope. But I will get to that in a second. But first, I have to drop the news. I'm sure you probably already know because it's all over the internet that Power Rangers has casted or announced their Dino Fury new Gold Ranger, and his name is Jordan. I believe his last name is pronounced Fight. Could be Fit. I don't know. You know how I butcher names. But what I thought was interesting is that there's a lot of firsts going on with him. So let's pop in. Let's see if I can pull up his beautiful, wonderful article that kind of goes over his backstory. So we have Jordan Fight. So basically, Jordan Fight is kind of a TikTok star. He basically is going to be the Gold Fury Ranger and the first Black Six Ranger. And technically, and they didn't say this, but technically, Russell Curry, who plays Zato, who is half Black, and I think he's half Japanese and part European, so he's mixed like me, but does claim his Blackness. This is the first time in Power Ranger history we have had a lot of Black on the same team. We've never had two Power Rangers that can claim their Blackness on the same Power Ranger team. And they didn't say it. They didn't say it, but it's true. So I'm actually very happy about that because, you know, we had Camille Hyde back in Dino Charge being the first ever, and at this point, I guess only Black Pink Ranger, because, you know, Power Rangers technically, according to Hasbro, at least as far as Toei is concerned, is ending after the season. So I don't know what's going to happen after this, but hey, I'm down. It's cool. But yeah, and then I also thought, and this is just me, I was looking at the rest of the cast, and I'm going to butcher some names, guys. But Blue Ranger Ollie is Kaina Lu Moya, So he's Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, European, and Hawaiian. You've got Teresa Rao, her character is adopted. So even though in the show, her name is Garcia, she's a New Zealander. She calls herself a Kiwi actress, but if you go to her management page at Lion Rock, it actually says she's Euro-Asian, and Rao, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is traditionally a last name found in India. So she's part Indian, part whatever. So there's that. Chance Perez. Perez is traditionally or a Filipino, Spanish, Puerto Rican name. So we've got that. Now Hunter Dino is interesting because Hunter's birth name is Ashley Hunter Dinoyel. And that sounds French, but let's be real. France colonized a lot of places. So I would not be surprised if girl is mixed too. And if that is the case, now we've got Jordan Fight. If Hunter turns out to be part woman of color, we have the first ever full people of color Power Rangers cast. I'm just saying. So that kind of makes me excited. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because, you know, it's a big deal. All right, so let's talk about the wonderfulness that is Power Rangers Dino Fury. Now, again, I've always talked about the morphs in this. I love the morph. Izzy and Javi's morph in this, once again, absolutely love. I love Izzy's banter with Boom Tower in this. So I'm not going to do a direct recap because if you're watching this, then you've already seen the episode, but I'm just going to point some stuff out. So just a brief summary. Javi finally got his keytar. He got it, bought it with his own money. That thing cost $900. $900. He got it from this place called Corey's Music Shop. Yeah, I looked at the tag. I don't know if it's real, but I thought that was an interesting throw out there. So maybe that has some kind of sentimental value to someone on the production team or whatever for Power Rangers. But Corey's Music Shop was interesting, but it was $900. Now, Javi bought this with his own money. He was in the park playing it. Yeah, everybody's jamming to it. Everybody's happy. And then here comes Warden Garcia. And he's like, you disturbing the birds. They're nesting out here. And then he takes the freaking keytar and he's like, this is $900. This is how you waste your money, basically. I'm going to take it back to the store. And I'm like, hold up. I'm like, how are you going to take your son's keytar that he bought with his own money back to the store? And of course, people were like recording it on their phone. So, it became a video that became viral in this episode, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, his child abuse got caught on tape or on video, should I say. But yeah, but I'm going to segue this because this happens later on in the episode. I'm confused about the job situation. So I know that Javi got hired, kind of like, I think it was a Buzz Blast with Amelia. So Amelia and Javi both work at Buzz Blast. When did Zato get a job? I'm curious. Somebody needs to enlighten me on this. Because as far as I can tell, Izzy's a high schooler. She doesn't seem to have time to have a part-time job because between her track and school and being a ranger, when does she have time? There is no universe you're going to tell me that Zato has a job. He is not working. He doesn't need to work. He lives in an underground spaceship. All of his needs are met. So I don't understand where, his money is coming from. And Ollie, all I know of Ollie is that he works with his mom sometimes when we see his mom. So the reason I'm saying this is in this episode, because Javi is embarrassed about how his father treats him. And I'll give you some more examples in a second. He kind of blows off, the rest of the Ranger team and doesn't really tell them what's going on. Like the fact that his dad took the keytar and all of the crap. So they chip in and buy him a new $900 keytar. And they're like Zato's exact words were, we all chipped in. And I'm like, with what? I'm like, with what money? I don't understand. Now, guys, I know this is a kid's show. I've been watching Power Rangers and Sentai for years. I love Power Rangers, but I'm going to nitpick it like I nitpick every show that I do and everything I review on this channel. With what money did they pay for this keytar? Someone please tell me. I need to know. I need to know this information. But yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm going to have a few other examples. But all right, so Boom Tower, he took a Sporix to power himself up, which I thought was pretty brilliant. I thought that was cool. If you were literally trying to get rid of the Power Rangers, if you're trying to kill the Power Rangers, then what you do is you power yourself up because obviously what you tried in the past isn't working, right? So yes, did Boom Tower take one of the Sporix to power himself up without permission? The Void Knight didn't know he was doing it. Did he do it without asking the big boss? Yes. Was it effective? Yes. So explain to me why Void Knight was like, no, you took my precious Sporix without permission. Both of you, Mucus and you, back to the base. Boom Tower was whooping the Rangers' butts. And he pulled them away because he was mad that he used the Sporix to power himself up. He should have been like, hey, all of us should do this. We can defeat the Rangers and then do what the heck we want. But no, this is why I said, they're not trying to kill the Rangers. They're not trying. The Rangers were essentially rescued by Void Knight. I'm just putting it out there. Just had to throw it down. Also, so I have questions. I've got questions. So, I always pick on the Rangers. I always pick on the Rangers for morphing after they've teleported. So they teleport into wherever the Ranger line tells them to go, but they're in civilian form. And then they morph, right? This time, they didn't do that. They were morphed when they came. I was like, what? I'm like, are they hearing me? Is somebody talking to them? Because they didn't. They literally were in civilian form, back at the command center. And then when they teleported in, they were already morphed. I'm like, you couldn't have done that from the jump. Izzy and Javi had to morph. They were literally, he was sitting on a bench and she was going to talk to him. And then they had to morph because Boom Tower, showed up with all of I call them the thugs. And so of course they had to fight. And I'm really hoping, because it looked like everybody was panicked and ran away. And I'm really hoping everybody actually left, because they were by a building with windows. If I was going to be a heifer about it, I would say, well, somebody could totally be looking at you through the window. Because I've come to the conclusion that the Rangers don't care if you know who they are. They just don't really care. Even though Zato said, protect your identity. No. But I was so proud. I was super proud that when they teleported in, all the blue, pink, and Red Ranger, all three of them were morphed. So yes, they get the Ranger Gold Star this week, just because of that. Back to our Gold Fury Ranger. His name is going to be like Aion or Ion, Aiyon, and he's going to be from the same planet that Zato is from. So I guess he's also a knight. And he's described as a fun-loving ranger who doesn't always play by the rules. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, so you're saying he's going to be teleporting in civilian mode too? I'm like, but I am excited on this dynamic. So I just had to throw that out there because I don't think I gave his bio. That's what they are basically saying his bio is on the show. So I am super excited. Again, never had a Black Ranger come in as a Sixth Ranger before. And I just think it's awesome that, with Russell Curry being half Black and then having a Black Gold Ranger. That's the first time we've ever had that much Blackness on the Power Ranger team. It just, Hasbro's doing it, man. I'm just saying. All right. So Boom Tower basically was not defeated by the Rangers because he was grounded. And we're still trying to find the Stego Spike Sword. And we learned, and I already knew this was going to be a thing because, of course, Solon made this device to try and track down where the Stego could be. And they only had the Zord pop up on the radar once. And I'm like, I know it's because he was playing that guitar in the park. I know that's what it was. And that's what it was. Playing the guitar, for some reason, the music elevated his Ranger energy and it was able to resonate with his Zord. And then they were able to locate it. So I knew that music for him was the key. But his dad. So let's talk about Izzy. So before Boom Tower was taken out of the fight, and he was whooping their butt. And I mean, whooping their butt. So Javi had called on the shield and told Izzy, I'll let you know when you go basically try and go on the side and attack him, which he does. And she gets hit. Now, when she got hit, I know why she was injured because I've seen the Rangers take hits that are like, I've seen the Rangers take hits that they should have been killed. Like I always go back to the episode where they couldn't see and they weren't able to look at the monster because, it would freeze you or, you'd be paralyzed. And I remember Zato fighting this monster in civilian form. And the monster literally took a sword and sliced down Zato's body. He should have been cut in half, but he had no scratch, not one scratch on him. But then Izzy got hit with Boom Tower, who was like basically on Sporex juice and got knocked down the stairs across, the courtyard or whatever, and then hurt her arm and, got injured. I suspend my disbelief, guys, because I know why they did this. They had to have Izzy get hurt so we could see just how big of an a-hole their dad really is. Because when Javi was helping Izzy and then dad rolled up in the truck, I'm like, yep, this is what's happening. I said, I already know what's about to happen. And then he's like, no, what happened? And Javi's like, we were attacked by a monster and the Black Ranger saved us. But, I tried to protect her. And dad's like, oh, yeah. How come you're not hurt? I was like, oh my, I'm like, really? So in my previous review, I said one of the prerequisites for being a Power Ranger was not that you bond with your DNA bonds with your morpher and the morphing grid. You're not best friends with the morphing masters. No, it's because your family doesn't give a crap about you. And unfortunately, where Javi is concerned, that might be true. And I honestly hope, it is my hope that they keep his dad an a-hole through this entire effing series because that makes it realistic. I hate when the parent is an a-hole and then they have an epiphany and they're like, oh, I really love you and I'm doing this from the kindness of my heart and I just want to show you the responsibility and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, I want them to keep Warden Garcia an a-hole the entire freaking series. And I think that will be believable. I just want it. I just want it. So, yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. Another side note that I did not understand in this episode. So when Izzy got hurt, Zato said, hey, get her out of here. We got this. And then, of course, Boom Tower gets grounded and him and Mucus get zapped away, but they leave the thugs behind to fight. And They're fighting in civilian mode. They're doing really well. And then Amelia says, where's Javi and Izzy? And I'm like, you just told him to take her. Like, why would you ask that question? Like, you didn't know. I'm like, what? I'm like, guys, I got to ask these questions. I got to ask them. I also am very tickled in this episode because somebody called the Ranger line sounding like a whole freaking anime character. We're under attack. Oh no, where? I'm like, who's calling right now? I'm like, which anime are you from? I'm like, are you trying to call Fire Force? What is happening? It didn't sound like J-Borg. It sounded like an anime character. I have played anime characters, so I know what they're supposed to sound like in dub form. And that was an anime voice. I'm just saying, an anime character of some sort in some series called the Ranger Hotline. Just throwing that out there. So the morph, again, I will never complain about the morph because I love the morph in all forms. I love the morph. I hate the opening sequence, aka not sequence, the theme song, the opening theme. I hate it with a passion. I hate it. It makes me want to rip out my eardrums. That's how much I dislike the song. But I love the fact that the same music is modified for the morph. So I don't know what that says about me because I love the music. I love the CG. I love the choreography. I love everything about that morph. It is F&A. It is one of the best morphs I have ever seen in Power Rangers. And I'm serious. And I loved SPD's morph. And there were ones that I thought were great. When they morph, I want a freaking morph. That is literally how I feel every effing time I see that morph. So yeah, it's a little long, and like the whole Link to Morphin Grid it's the whole choreography on that could be a little cheesy, but that morph is F&A. So you will never hear me nitpick. You will never hear me complain. And I am so looking forward to the Gold ones. I really want to see the Gold Rangers morph. But speaking of morph, I'm going to say it. This is going to sound crazy, but I love when, Izzy is a character that is blessed in the chest area. And they go away when she morphs. And I mean, it is absolutely hilarious to me. I'm sorry. It just makes me laugh. And I know I am a Sentai nerd. I know that a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, they have the same Japanese stunt team and they come in. Sometimes it's a lot of guys that are actually playing the female versions in the suit. So in suit are normally men. I get that. But it just cracks me up when she's morphing, and you'll probably never get this out of your head now that I've said this. Just watch. She had on this gray or green, kind of like sweatshirt, and she's as somebody who has large testicles, you can recognize in other women. So she has these boobs and she morphs, and then they disappear. And then I was like in my feelings. I'm like, I want to morph now every freaking day. I'm like, I want them to go away. What? I'm like, so I just had to throw that out there because if you have not noticed, I observe a lot of things in shows that I watch. So not important to the plot, not at all, but hilarious. Now, I did think it was cute when Javi finally got to meet his Stego Spike Zord, and then he's like, he's such a spiky guy, whatever. And I'm like, it was adorable. His Zord is adorable. So I know that's something you're not used to hearing in Power Rangers, but it's an adorable Zord. And the whole Megazord fight, I mean, I already knew it was going to go down. I knew that because whenever you have a new Zord, everybody has to get their butt kicked in the Zord until the new Zord comes and saves the day. That's just basically Power Ranger and Super Sentai formula. So that's not something I'm not used to. It has happened in every series I've ever seen. So I am okay with it. I was okay with it's fine. I have no problem with that. I will get back to the whole thing with Javi and them chipping in on that keytar again in a sec. But I got to talk about the fact that after he got said keytar again as a present, he starts playing and everybody's dancing. And of course, Jay Borg's like, I don't know how to dance. And of course, Jane's like, well, don't let your coding hold you back. And I really wanted to say, but that's kind of the point when you're a robot, but whatever. She danced her way it, basically into the ground, a hole in the ground. So she made a hole in the ground and she broke the water main. And everyone's like, and here I am thinking, it's going to cost thousands of dollars to repair. I'm like, what is wrong? Are you guys on something? I know Jane and Jay Borg are supposed to be the comedy of the show, but hitting a water main and causing it to basically shoot out of a hole inside of your place of employment, inside of your building, making it now so that you're no longer like basically within code and could be shut down is absolutely hysterical. Let's laugh. Like Power Rangers. All right. So again, back to the whole Keytar thing. I think that's probably the thing that actually bugged me in this episode is how in the heck. And then it wasn't even conclusive. Like, I don't know if Izzy was part of the chip in, because when Zato said we chipped in, I thought he included her, but then he could have just meant me, Ollie, and Amelia chipped in. Amelia has a job. Zato does not have a job. I have no clue what Ollie does. I just don't. Does his mom pay him? I don't know what he does. He has, and when have any of them had time to go to work? We've never seen Javi at Buzz Blast not really working. I mean, if somehow they end up there sometimes to like joke around, but like, I don't remember him actually physically getting a story and going out and doing it. Amelia, I don't know when the heck she goes to work because I never see her there. So I don't know what's happening with that. And Zato, I'm not suspending my disbelief. There's no way that man has a job. I'm sorry. That man's not from Earth. He is 67 million years old. He doesn't have a driver's license or ID card. He doesn't have a social security number. That man can't work. What money did he have to pitch in to pay for a $900 keytar? No. And then it kind of got me in my feelings again, because I mean, I've been friends with some of my friends I've had since high school. I didn't get a $900 musical instrument. They ain't chipping in for that. I mean, I'm happy if they chip in for a $10 gift card. I'm like, what? They have bad friends. I don't know. But that's like in my feelings, guys. I was in my feelings. But overall, I did enjoy this episode. It's just, I gotta say it. I gotta say the things. I have to say all of the things because that is what I do. And I know sometimes it makes people upset, but it's true. What I'm saying is true. Think about this. If you take nothing from this at all, ask how the Rangers had money. Ask why Void Knight doesn't really want to kill the Rangers, because if he did, he would have let Boom Tower do it. Like, ask these questions. Ask why this father is an a-hole and gets away with abusing his kids that are basically teenagers, so underage. There's so many questions. There's so many questions. And who's going to pay to fix that water main? Because I mean, that's expensive. So I don't know why Jane was laughing. Jane should have been crying because she's the one that runs that place. So more than likely, that money was coming out of her pocket. And I don't know how you're going to explain to the insurance company that your Android busted a hole in the water main underneath the ground of your building. Ha 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 ha. Hey, we're dancing. It's fun. All right. You think by now they would use better musicians for PR themes? So there have been some, like, I really didn't mind Dino Charge. I kind of like Dino Charge's music, like the theme song. I thought the theme song was really well done. I didn't mind, like, just throwing it out there in Disney era. Like, I didn't mind, what was it? Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm was pretty good. Lightspeed Rescue wasn't bad. I guess, I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss. Now, I will say Power Rangers Overdrive actually annoyed the heck out of me too. The show and the theme song. Megaforce is just a generic version of MMPR, so I don't really put any thought into that. And so, like, yeah, if I just literally made a list and went and bought, like, SPD had a good theme. I don't know what it is. I mean, as much money as they spent, and this is the last series, you think they would have just invested a little bit more in the score? Because, like, this is the last Power Rangers we're going to get, technically. So I don't know. Quincy Jones is still alive, just saying. I mean, heck, John Williams. That was Jay Borg. So Jay Borg was the one that called in sounding like a whole freaking anime character. Okay. He was showing favoritism back in episode 4. This is true. Now we'll say this, Terrell. He is also an a-hole to Izzy. Remember. Just think about what Izzy said about her dad. She said, and quote, "My dad expects me to win." What does that say about her father? If you aren't a winner, you're a loser. So she gets it too. He just has higher expectations for her. And then Izzy's the one that's adopted in. So she's the stepdaughter. So it's even worse. So yeah. It's not the last series. No, it's not the last series. It's the last series that they're going to use Toei series for. So like they're not going to have any more series. Like anything that we have that's come out now, like Zenkaiger, any of those, they're not going to be adapted in the US. They're going to do their own stuff. So that don't mean, I'm not saying that Hasbro is done with Power Rangers. I just mean they're done with Toei. So for us, this is the last time we're going to see a Toei, Americanized show. So that's why I keep saying it that way. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that in a confusing way. This is the last season. We got the 30th anniversary and the 100th episode. Yeah, I'm excited. I think we're going to have some crossovers. I don't know. I mean, quite frankly, I'm sure a lot of the Rangers in the past will come back because they've done it for the Beast Morphers. They've done it, I don't think Dino Charge. Dino Charge actually was on Beast Morphers. I don't think Dino Charge had any Rangers that came in, which is that's kind of a missed opportunity considering they were Dino themed. It would have been cool to have, Dino Thunder or someone from Dino Thunder, of course, MMPR, another Dino, themed show kind of merged in. That would have been cool. But we did see a bunch of different cameos and in Ninja Steel, another show I really wasn't happy with. We did get to see, Tommy and Kat and a bunch of others. So, it kind of played out. Honestly, CPS should have been called on Warden Garcia. He was a Karen and practically got himself exposed on social media. Yeah, I'm like, what is wrong with this man? And I mean, who cares about the birds nesting? They will come back. Did you watch National Geographic? If the nest is there, they're going to come back if there's eggs in it. I don't understand. I don't get that at all. If COVID is still around, I only need Kat to come back in the episodes to explain Megaforce. I don't think anyone can explain Megaforce. I rewrote Megaforce. I said this in one of my earlier reviews on the channel when we were talking. I think it was probably with Joe's Geek Show. And I think also with Blurb Without Fear. I have a bunch of different Power Ranger videos from like last year on the channel. And like I rewrote when Megaforce, instead of Megaforce just having these Ranger keys, I thought it would be cool that the last battle happened and they lost. And they were able to go back in time because they had, either a Time Ranger key or they had the ability to use Zordon's Revenge. I hate calling Gokaiger's ship, Zordon's Revenge. It just sounds so stupid, but whatever. But they were able to use the ship to go back in time and then allowed them to basically go and go visit different Rangers from the past and ask them to help them give up their powers and put them in a key. And they collected all these keys. And then when they went back to to redo the final battle, they had all these powers. I thought that made more sense than what the heck happened in that series. Megaforce ticked me off. You have no idea. I could not stand that series at all. And I am a huge Gokaiger fan. So I had issues with that. I had so many issues with that. Let's see here. Carlos officially made the whole town hate him. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't understand. I guess he might get fired, right? That would be justice. Amelia, Ollie, and Izzy couldn't have chipped in for the Kitar, or Izzy took back. I'm telling you, they have no money. Does Amelia have a home? Does she live with her parents? Does she pay rent? Do they go home? I don't understand. Yes, we met Amelia's grandfather last week, but I don't know I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't. Let's see here. I wouldn't be surprised if Warden Garcia got confronted and punished for how he treated Javi. He doesn't deserve to be a father. I agree. He doesn't. And I'm wondering, what happened to Javi's mother? Are we going to know that? And is Izzy's mother still alive? Because she's adopted, So I'm assuming he got remarried to her mom. Like, I wish we had a little bit more like exposition and backstory on them. That would be nice. Do you think the PR continuity is an obstacle or an ad set to the direction of the story at this point? I like, because we saw the morphing, masters at the beginning, which my running joke, I said this a while ago. So if anybody else said this, they stole that from me. The reason that the show is called Power Rangers Dino Fury is because when the morphing masters came and the dinosaurs were coming up to the hedge, and then they basically took their spirits and put them in those keys. I'm like, those dinosaurs did not get permission for that. They weren't asked, and they were furious. And that's where we got Dino Fury from. It's because they are ticked off. It's why when you look at their faces, they look mad. They just look mad. But no, I don't think it hurts the continuity at all. I think that I like the fact that the Power Ranger series is in the continuity, because it gives us a chance to actually, especially with the Morphin Masters, we get to see all the other shows or all the other, previous Power Ranger teams, potentially do a crossover. I heard that we're going to get, why did his name just go out of my head from Ninja Steel? What is his name? Their mentor in Ninja Steel. You know what I'm talking about. He's going to do I guess, an episode or a cameo, kind of like how Dr. Z did in one of the episodes in Beast Morphers. They're going to have him come in and I guess help Zato with something. I'm pretty sure it's the next episode. That should be episode 8. So I like the continuity exists. I like the fact that they all can talk to each other. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. I really think it'd be kind of cool. Just since this is the last Toei adapted series, we have the opportunity to have a lot of cameos. And I'm hoping they take advantage of that. I mean, we're only 7 episodes in. We have no idea what they're planning. But hopefully, Mick. Thank you, Jed. Mick. I always forget that man's name. But yeah, Mick should be in the next episode. But I'm really hoping we get a lot of cameos. And all of them within the continuity will be awesome. So I'm super excited for that. I'm working my own Power Rangers series with elements from which. Oh, I love that TV show. I hate they canceled that cartoon. Both versions from Charmed and mainly Winx Club, since it's supposed to be a sequel to it. Huh. So what kind, is this going to be a comic? Is this going to be like a fan film or an anime web series or something like that? What are you doing? Mick Kennick, and he's in episode 8. Yeah, I knew he was in episode 8. I always forget Mick's name because I didn't really enjoy Ninja Steel. I just really didn't. I don't know what it was. And to be fair, the ninja that it's based off of is also silly, but they were cousins and they were all competing, to be the last ninja. So it had a lot of funny elements to it. So, I mean, yeah. I did, really enjoy the ninja, and I really enjoyed their henshin, and I really liked the music and the dance at the end. Like, if you've seen the ninja, the dance they do at the end is hilarious. So I did like Ninja a lot. I just did not enjoy Ninja Steel. Oh, it's a fanfic? I read tons, so make sure you link me to it. So I will check that out for sure, because I am a fanfic lover. I use fanfics to help me deal with the fact that some of the stuff that I'm watching is not as good as the fanfics I'm reading. It happens. Trying to think if there's anything else that I didn't talk about in this episode, because the gold star they got this week was the pink, blue, and red actually morphed in full morphed form. They were in their ranger suits. They did not come in civilians. I was extremely happy about this because they always freaking morph. Ranger line. Okay, we'll be there in 10 seconds in the middle of everyone watching so we can morph. But nobody knows who we are because we're ninjas. And like, no, you're not. Like, you're really not. There was one other thing I didn't point out that I think is actually kind of funny. So in the episode where Izzy was mean to her cousin, when they're getting ready to start the race, both her dad and Javi said, oh, you get a little gassy. Do you have gas? So they implied that she has a flatulence problem. In this episode, Izzy implied that Javi has digestive tummy issues like constipation or diarrhea, which makes me really wonder, what in the heck are they eating at home? It's like, what is wrong? Do you need Tums? I don't understand what is happening in your house. So I just had to throw that out there because I don't know. That was just really weird. I'm not sure if you caught that, but that family is gassy and has constipation and diarrhea problems. So yeah, Just saying. I wouldn't be surprised if Warden Garcia got confronted and punished for how he treated Javi. He doesn't deserve it. I think I already read that one. Sorry. My StreamYard loves to or basically scroll up when I'm clicking on stuff. I have it under a different username and I've had to revise it. I might have to redo it, but it's not finished yet. Okay, just let me know or like post it. Or you can message me. My social media is always on these videos. So just make sure to send it to me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And I will definitely check it out because it sounds interesting. Troy, a wind ninja who got the scroll of time to kill Luther, but went to the future, seeing a legendary battle, and came back to be expelled. Huh. That sounds cool. Let me back up. Did you see my comment before about Troy's vision? I think I missed that one. I'm sorry, Manuel. Is this it? Really, Tori is a wind ninja who stole the scroll of time to... That's true. It went to the future by mistake, then returned to be expelled. So that would be cool. I don't think that happened, did it? Because I know, if I remember Tori, they became, at the end of Ninja Storm, they became teachers. And then she did a crossover with, it was Operation Overdrive. Because it was her, Dino Thunder Yellow. I think Adam was there. I have to go back and look. I have to go back and see who the other ones were. But I do remember her being in that. Tori being in that. And still having her powers. Which was interesting. She had her powers. But I remember at the end of Ninja Storm, they actually threw their Ranger tokens, keys, whatever, I forgot what they called them, away. Like to seal, what was his name? Was it Lothar? Their master's twin brother. I think it was Lothar. I have to go back and look. It's been a minute since I watched the series, but I do remember them throwing their they didn't have powers anymore. Like they had their ninja powers, but they didn't have the Ranger powers anymore. So, but that happens a lot. So I don't know. I meant Troy to explain his visions. Did they ever say in Megaforce why he had visions? I mean, he didn't have premonition powers. So I was just very confused on why he was able to dream about this legendary battle to begin with. Let's, like I said, Ninja Storm was its own thing. And it did not resonate with me. I didn't like Ninja because I know that Ghost Sider was a hard series to adapt because, of course, it's a series about angels. And, of course, in the States, that with all the controversy behind religion and Christianity, they're not going to have a Power Rangers Christian team. So, or Holy Christian or Holy Angel team. So, of course, they did not stick to that at all. Instead, they basically made another version of MMPR's early days. And to the point where Emma was saying the same line Kimberly said about her hair being tangled in the helmet. That it was so generic. It was like an off-brand version of MMPR. The only difference is that their Billy was black. So they switched the characters around. So it was like, to me, it was just really weird. I just never got into it. I never got into that show. And when they started doing Super Megaforce, I think I watched one episode and they started using the Ranger keys and like they called on, I want to say it was Flashman. I think it was Flashman. And they were like, these are super, they were like, oh, these are Super Ranger powers or something like that. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you can't even like give them a name. It's like, of course we've never seen these shows because they weren't, they didn't start. They started with Zoo Ranger in Japan and then they morphed the Megazords from Dire Ranger into it. And so like, they started at that point and they skipped a lot of series. So we've never had the opportunity to actually see all of the Sentai powers that they were using. And they were calling them like weird stuff. And I was like, I can't handle this emotionally. I just can't. I can't. And I'm not being nitpicky. It's just that when you watch Go Kaiser and they go visit Turbo Ranger, like not American Turbo Ranger, actual Turbo Ranger in Japan, because they had a team called Turbo Ranger. And they go see Car Ranger and they go see Bokanger. All of the stories, all of the ways they got the grand powers, like they got these grand powers from these different Sentai teams and got to use their Ranger keys because there was a connection to all the Super Sentais. That was the novelty of it. That was why it was so cool. Not only did you have space pirates, which is effing cool in itself, they actually got a tie-in with all of the previous Ranger teams. And you got to see all of these actors, even some of the older ones. You had like Go Red, you had Live Yellow. It was amazing. And then you take it and you bring it to the States and there's no history whatsoever. If they had just done it where they only use MMPR and Lightspeed Rescue and Lost Galaxy, I would have been okay with that. But they didn't. They kept using Sentai footage for shows we never even got over here. It was stupid. And so I was like, I can't. So yeah, guys. So the show that I dislike the most in the Power Ranger franchise has always and will always be Megaforce. I can't stand it, especially Super Megaforce. I was not thrilled with Operation Overdrive, but I still would accept that over Megaforce. And that's because it's just mega crap to me. And that's what it is. Now, Dino Fury is cool. I have no problem with Dino Fury. I just like to nitpick it because it's funny. And honestly, if I had been reviewing the other shows, because I've only had my channel since the end of 2019, I would probably be nitpicking them the same because I only nitpick things I like. If I don't like it, I don't review it. So I love Power Rangers. I love Super Sentai. I love Kamen Rider. I love Tokusatsu shows. So, Garo is one of my favorite Tokusatsu shows ever. I love every Garo, actually, especially Goldstorm. I know that's weird, but I do. But I just have to throw it out there that I do love Power Rangers, but I'm going to nitpick the heck out of it because it's what I do. It's what I do. The Christian Power Rangers sounds horrible. But let's be clear. Go Sidger was they were angels whose heavenly duty was protecting the earth. So there was no way Megaforce was going to be saying that. So I don't know. I've always wondered though, like even with Megaforce, when they got Zordon's revenge, it all comes back to the parents and the teachers. Like, why were they not in trouble for never going to class or not going home? You're traveling on a ship. Power Rangers in space is my ultimate example for this. They were gone for months and they were still in high school. So like as far as I understand, they had not graduated from high school and they were never at school. They just weren't at school. They were in space on a spaceship. So, and their parents were just cool with it. Like there's an episode where Ashley's like shopping for her dad's birthday. And he's like, I think I'm going to have a tie, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why are your parents so cool with you not going to school? Why? Can I explain Megaforce in a community post? You have to stop hate for explanation. Hey, Emmanuel, you can literally, rules of my channel. You never have to agree with anything that I say. I will always read your statements. I will always read your explanations. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm never going to make you feel like your opinion is not valid. So if you like Megaforce, you are not going to get any hate from me. I am not going to call you stupid. I'm not going to say your opinion doesn't matter because that is not what I do. So please don't feel like, I don't know if this is your first stream with me or is the first time you've seen any of my videos, but I don't do that. And I will get on anybody on my channel. If I see anybody else doing it in the comments, I will get on them because this is not that channel. You are free to express your opinion. You are not going to get any hate from me whatsoever. So put it on the community post. I have no problem. I will read it. I respond to it. I'm just telling you my personal opinion on I just don't like Megaforce. But if you like it, please tell me what you thought about it. Give me an explanation. I have no problem with that. Do you think you can do a live review for Fate the Wing Saga? I know you guys are waiting. Okay. So I got to finish my video for my other channel. And my goal, because we have our charm stream on Sunday night. So my goal is to try very hard to have the video up on Monday. If I do not have that video up on Monday, I will do a Fate Wing Saga live stream. I will do it. I will do it because overall I enjoyed the series. It does have a problematic, there's a lot of problematic, I guess, tone to it because of what it's based on. But as you will hear in my video review or live stream potentially, I will 100% basically make it another Earth. It's like a comic book. So for me, Fate the Winx Saga is on a different Earth. So like Winx is on Prime Earth and Fate the Winx Saga is on Earth 2. That's literally how I had to separate that, because how, they have the same names, same characters, technically, but different situations, kind of similar, but different situations, different motivations and stuff like that. So yeah, it's coming. I'm sorry, Jed. It's been like the bane of my existence. This one video in this editor, I think it's a codec issue. I've done it twice. So the second time I did it, it was still large. So I just started cutting it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been editing it to get it smaller because it's just huge. It's just a huge video. And every time I cut it, I have to render it and it takes effing forever. So, and none of my videos take forever. I have a gaming computer. So my processor, my video card, they're very, very fast. So I don't get why this one video in my video editor is failing. And it's driving me nuts. So, but I'm trying. I am trying. Did you agree with my explanation thus far? Because I got more to glorify the Lord. Let's see. See, I think I've been missing some of them. I'm sorry. And I can explain the Sentai suits like Tommy's metallic armor was given up to make the squadron powers. Yeah, do me a favor. So like, honestly, post all of this in the community post and I will look at it and then we can like have a conversation. Or you can do it when this video posts. You can put it in the comments on this video and I will go over it because I kind of like going over it and then checking, the videos and sources or whatever just to see, what you're saying and then what I think and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to make like a snap conversation decisions and stuff like that in here because, I'll read it and then maybe later on I'll process it a little bit more and say, oh, well, maybe this does work or maybe it doesn't work. So I just kind of want to process it. So if you can put that in the comments on this video, when this video posts, I will happily have a conversation with you about that. So that's not a problem. Okay. So making sure I did not miss anything. Oh, I will say that I did look up Corey's music shop, by the way, in this episode. And I didn't find anything. I thought maybe it was like because they're in New Zealand. Maybe it was a shop in New Zealand. I didn't look to see if it was a shop in like LA or in like any other places. I think that the Rangers are from in real life. The actors are from in real life. More than likely, though, Corey's music shop, the Corey person may be related to somebody, either in the cast or on the crew. Yada, yada, yada. Because I know that in a lot of shows, they always like to throw in personal stuff as Easter eggs. So I'm really curious because it does say on the tag, Corey's Music Shop, which is because it's not something like random, like, instrument outlet, or something like that. It's Corey's Music Shop. So I thought that was really interesting. I would love to know who Corey is. And let's see. We found the Stegozord in Greenlee Woods. I mean, that really wasn't a big thing. I mean, it's just not. But I like the fact that Boom Tower used that Sporex, kind of like, gave himself a power up. So now I'm wondering what would have happened if he used more than one. Because when he did use the Sporex, it did drain the power of the Sporex and went into him. So I want to know if Void Knight is actually trying to collect all these Sporex to give himself one huge power overhaul, like a battery. But again, if your end game is to take over the planet, like every other villain, why would you stop one of your henchmen from taking out the people that are literally stopping your plans and taking Sporex from you? Every time you go, like literally every episode, every time they go out to find Sporex. I don't understand why they. Of course, he can't get on the base, but if they were all dead or destroyed, I guess is what we say in Power Ranger land, then wouldn't that make it easier for him and his plans? Why did he stop Boom Tower from finishing the Rangers off? That's very weird. That is very weird. So, yeah. Yeah. Just wanted to, throw that out there because it was strange. But yeah, overall, again, I like the episode. I am super excited for episode 8 because again, we're going to have Mick, and this is going to be more of a Zato focused, I think, episode again. So I like when we explore Zato's past. I like that we saw his antennas when he was in the command center. He actually didn't have his hat on, and he wasn't like masking his or making his, because they seem to be retractable, but he actually was keeping to his heritage, I guess is a good thing, a way of saying that. So more than likely, when we get our new Gold Ranger, he's going to have antennas too. So that should be interesting. I'm really excited because, like, if he's one of the knights that maybe, Zato thought was dead, I'm really curious to see how he survived and where he's been. So I am very, very excited about that. What is your favorite Super Sentai and Kamen Rider season? Ooh. Okay. So my favorite Super Sentai, I have a few. If I'm going for sibling drama, like where they're all siblings on a team, I love Five Man. Five Man is probably one of my favorites. And I love the fact that they were basically raised by a robot, and they all became school teachers. I always thought that was pretty cool. If we're going by badassness, Go Kaiger 100%. I'm also a big Maji Ranger fan. I don't know if you've noticed behind me, I have my Machi phone. I have a bunch of like really cool Sentai memorabilia, and one of my friends, Joe's Geek Show, I think I mentioned this in another video. He is stationed over in Japan with his wife, and they have a really cool mall that has a bunch of Sentai stuff. And so I got him to go get me a lot of things. So I've got a Go Kaiger changer coming. I've got I have a Garo coming, a Go Garo. I have a Maji staff. I mean, I have so much stuff coming. So definitely love Maji Ranger. That's my second favorite sibling type series. Like I said, Go Kaiger for badassness. Then I like, if I'm going by like ninjas, like I'm a huge Hurricaneger fan. But so I like Hurricaneger, but I really like Go Ranger in Hurricanegers. I think Go Rangers are cool. Like the Thunder Ninjas are cool. I also really, really have a thing. So there's so many genres in Sentai, so you got to break them down. So I did like Geki Ranger because I like the idea of them studying different martial art styles. And I thought that Jungle Fury actually was adapted very well because of how they did Geki Ranger. Outside of the Red Ranger, because of course he wasn't raised by animals. Oh my God, like John was in Geki Ranger. So Geki Ranger was very, very cool. Old school, I like a lot of old school Sentai though. Like I mean, the very first Sentai series I ever saw was Jetman. And I liked Jetman, and Jetman was long and it was very adult for the time. And it was the first time I ever saw a Ranger actually be killed because, the Black Ranger gets stabbed, but he doesn't get stabbed as a Ranger. He actually got stabbed. I think it was on the day of the Red and Pink Ranger's wedding, who I believe got married in real life. So yeah, so definitely like Jetman. I can go down the list. I love Super Sentai. I've seen every Super Sentai that has come out. I'm just not really happy with Zenkaiger, the latest one. I don't know what it is. It's like watching a bunch of Megazords, transform. So I do have a problem with that. As for Kamen Rider, there's so many. It's so many. I love Kamen Rider W. I just do. I'm really into Saber right now. I'm really liking Saber. My spouse actually got a Red Dragon book coming. I thought that was really cool. I love, let's see, there's so many. I wasn't really I like Kamen Rider Hibiki, but a lot of people don't. So I don't have a problem with it. A lot of people really don't like Kamen Rider Hibiki. But I do. I like Decade. I really go down the list. Like the only one that really bothered me was Kaiva. And I don't know why. I just felt like he was annoying. His human form was annoying as heck. I just did not like him. He really got on my nerves. Yeah, I like that pretty much. I don't think there really isn't a Kamen Rider series that I don't like. Builder's good. I like all of them. I like them all. And then of course I will say it again. I love Garo. love Garo. Love it. Tensu is a Deco. Why he knows Andrasian. Okay. The Prism Rangers created the Zeo Crystal. Pink kicks like Tanya, green punch like Adam from the M51 Galaxy Prism. Okay, Shayla's royal family went into the grid to become supersonic powers as she sings well a lot. So I know in Boom Comics, they have a lot more backstory, like a ton of backstory. And I'm really hoping that we get like adaptations of Boom Comics because I really think they would be amazing. I would like to see, well, no, we probably couldn't ever do that actually, because it's a lot more adult and a lot more violent in Boom Comics than what we're used to in Power Rangers. So I don't think I know Nickelodeon wouldn't do it. I mean, we would not get that from Nickelodeon. So they would have to have their own Power Ranger channel, you know, in order to actually have the level of violence they have in Boom Comics. But they are very well done. So especially Time Ranger. Speaking of Kamen Rider W, did you know that Funimation is making an anime based around Kamen Rider W? I heard rumors. I didn't know if it was true or not because Kamen Rider W is amazing. So I would be down with that. I mean, because I remember when they decided to do animated versions of Garo. Not necessarily the same. The Maji Knights and Maji Priests are a lot different in the animated versions of Garo than they are in the live action. And I prefer the live action. I am a huge live action Garo fan. I mean, from the beginning, I started watching Garo literally when the first season premiered in Japan. So that's how long I've been watching Garo. But I would be down with Kamen Rider W. I really would for them doing an animated series, especially if they kept the same characters. I would be completely cool with that. What would your ideal Power Rangers series look like? Ooh. So can it be dark? So I would love to have Power Rangers that fight monsters that are actually trying to kill them, like demons or like predator types. I think that would be very cool and would raise the stakes. So I want to have a Power Ranger series where they can be cute and campy, but they have to get the job done. And I would love it to be realistic, where they are chosen to fight and their family knows that they're fighting, but they don't have a choice because they have to protect people. I think that would be effing cool. Will we get that? Probably not. And I love lots of different genres. Like I said, I love when they're family members fighting. That's why I like 5-Man. I like Go-Go 5. I like Maji Ranger. I love it when they're all siblings because, you know, there's more skin in the game, because if one of the Rangers dies, it's literally your family member. But I'm also down with the Time Rangers of the world because, you know, they become a family, a bunch of people that have problems, especially the Pink Ranger, because Yuri had a lot of problems, you know, all come together from trauma and have to fight. I like stuff like that. I like really intense, serious, like more like a video game type Power Rangers, like where you literally have to, you know, if you don't get the job done, everybody dies. And there is no monster that comes around and has a banter with you for like 55 minutes and stands around and lets you transform, you know, and do your speech or introduce yourself, you know, for 10, 15 minutes without attacking you, lets you form a Megazord. You know, it's like, I want Power Rangers that literally have to go in swinging. That is my ideal Power Ranger series. I would love dark, kick A Power Rangers. I think that would be very cool. I did like how they did, what was the name of it? Kamen Rider. They adapted it, but I need to figure out one. Rider. I gotta remember the name of the show. I cannot remember. Dragon Knight. So Kamen Rider Dragon Knight I thought was really well done. And I would like that, but darker. Because, you know, I loved Ryuki, but I don't know. I really liked how they did. I was really upset when Dragon Knight was canceled. So I would be cool if it was something like Dragon Knight, but a lot darker, like darker. Like you have to have the feeling like the villains are not playing with you. It's, you know, they aren't. It's like one of the things I always joke about is how I know the villains are not trying to kill the Power Rangers is that the episode in MMPR where they're fighting the putties, and 2 of the putties hold Tommy down, and then the third one takes some scissors, and he takes a lock of his hair, and he's like clips the lock of his hair, and he's taking it back to Rita, and they're going to make a clone of Tommy to destroy him. And I'm like, why did you not? You could have just taken the scissors and plunged it right into his throat. So I'm like, why? Because you're not trying to kill him. I mean, like, Rita literally was so nice to the Rangers. She let them go to school. She let them take tests. Billy had perfect attendance while he was a Ranger. I mean, she let them go. She didn't really attack them till they were walking home from school, and occasionally at the juice bar if they had a party. But outside of that, school is important. Rita let them go to school. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The villains are not trying to kill you. You know, not like her Japanese counterpart, where she's basically Satan, or Satan worshiper. So, yeah. That's what the Power Ranger team would be like for me. Dark, kick-ass, and have villains that were really trying to hurt people. Scary looking villains that you had to train and had to have, you know, think like the new Mortal Kombat movie that's coming out, which I'm super excited about. Substitute our team that's fighting for the Earth realm with Power Rangers, and booyah. That is my ideal Power Ranger team. It'd be cool. The Blitz powers were created by the first Mystic Rangers, use their Zord energy to be the Blitz powers. So are you telling me the origin of these different powers? The Turbo Falcon, say Super Sentai, is Dr. K made it with Dino Charge, Heckle, and, you know, in DNA. Okay. To protect Sentai 6 and the Dark Energem as the Dino Charge Zords are far on Earth. So, Emmanuel, tell me are you literally telling me the origins of some of these powers? Are you defending Megaforce? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what we're talking about. I grew up with Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, and that series is actually my first introduction to the Kamen Rider world because it reminded me a lot of Power Rangers. Yeah, it was a good series. It was a very well-adapted Kamen Rider show, as opposed to Mass Rider, which was basically a adaptation of Kamen Rider Black, which was not good. It was not good at all. It was horrible. So if people saw that thinking that's what Kamen Rider was, they were seriously let down. What did you think of the Power Rangers movie that came out a few years back? I didn't mind it. I wish we got more fight scenes. I wish the Megazord battle was pretty long. But the fight scene is like they kept training and trying to morph. And then they finally morph. And the entire fight scene in that movie lasted about 4.5 minutes. And then they were calling on their Zords. So I would have liked to have more of, like, remember the first MMPR movie that they did? I thought that was actually really well done. I really enjoyed it. Plus, it was the first time that we saw Power Rangers at night. And that made me extremely excited. I'm like, wow, there's Angel Grove gets dark. You know, they have a nighttime. So I did like that one. But I think that technically they could have done more. I mean, and then having Kimberly and Jason hook up was really weird for me. But again, this is an alternate telling. So again, like Fate's Wink Saga, I had to separate that movie on a different Earth. Because especially since we had a cameo of Tommy and Kim, Jason David Frank, and why did her name just go out of my head? Kimberly's actress just went right out of my head. It'll come back. But we had their cameo at the midpoint of the movie. I think it was actually near when they were having the fight at the end. I don't know. I didn't hate it. Would have liked to have seen their version of a Green Ranger, since we saw that they were trying to bring Tommy in, but now they're retconning it again. So we'll see. I like your idea. I would add it to that Lord Zed-like character should be written like Frank Underwood, while us seeing how he manipulates circumstances as others trying to steal his throne. Amy Jo Johnson, thank you, Zed. Jed, you're awesome, because my memory is crap today. Telling you the origins of the Sentai powers and footage. So, hold on. The QX looks different with triple spike energy from Tommy's Dragon. So, okay. Where are you getting all of this Power Ranger Sentai adaptations? like the origins of their powers. Did I miss this? Were they in the book, like a Boom Studio comics that I didn't see? Because the clips that I saw when they would fight, they weren't discussing origins about anything. So I'm just trying to figure out where you got those from. But this is something that you're doing, like you're making up. Because if you're doing this, that's cool. I think that is very awesome, very dedicated. Where are you seeing these, Emmanuel? Because Super Sentai, the origin of all of their powers are all derived differently. Like Go-Go 5, for instance, their father made their henshin, their Chuckson bracelets. And basically he was hiding in a base like 10 miles from them underground for like years. And they thought their dad was dead. And it was actually pretty bad. But yeah, I thought it up. Okay. Well, then, Emmanuel, you are awesome. And I think these ideas would be very cool. And honestly, if they had you in the writer's room for Megaforce, it would have made a hell of a lot more sense. Unfortunately, they didn't have you, so it didn't make any sense. So take that to heart, that what you're writing right now is so detailed and thought out. I think it's really cool. They just didn't do that. You're actually doing more work than the entire production company did and writing room did for Megaforce. And that's sad. So far, the Boom comics are Power Rangers at their best. I effing love Boom comics. Love them. Love them. I love all the new Rangers. I love seeing the Morphin Masters. Because before Boom Comics, I didn't realize we had Morphin Masters. I'm like, what? They never talked about this, So it's pretty cool. It's also a deleted scene of their cameo at a restaurant where Kimberly and Trini were fighting for the last piece of food. In that scene, Tommy had a ponytail. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right. They were playing with the forks. Yeah. I did like the fact that Trini was made to be queer. As a queer woman, that made me happy. I love the fact that they didn't dwell on it. It wasn't the thing that made Trini's character. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, it's a missed opportunity. I really think they could have found their footing. I wish they had more fight, like their whole fight scenes were either split up into different fight scenes, or they had a really long fight scene, and then we saw the Megazords or the Zords and then the Megazord. But we didn't get that. It was such a short fight scene. So short. I was like, that's why I like that web series, Power Ranger Unworthy. I love the fight scenes in that. I think it's really well done. And their arbiter and all that is really well done. I don't know. I just think that movie was not given a shot. I really think they should have tried, at least given it a second movie, and then see from that point after they introduced Jason where it would have gone. But they're doing their own thing. So yeah, what can you do? They mentioned the Morphin Masters at MPR season 1 in Big Sisters. Did they? I have to go back and look at that, because I just don't remember it. I don't remember them ever mentioning, but I'm glad we have a visual, and I'm glad they have it in they had that scene in Dino Fury, even though the Morphin Masters did not ask the dinosaurs permission to take their spirits. And that's why they're furious. I'm just saying. Let me go back. The Q-Rex looks different from Triple Spike Energy, from Tommy's Dragon Coin, Eric's Emblem, Trent's Vest, Triple Spike, Y3 Dino Steel Weapons form. Oh, Trent. I love the entire Gold Ranger saga, especially when for a little while Jason was the Gold Ranger. I do have a question about a character, though. They never, ever revealed in Power Rangers who the heck the Phantom Ranger was. And I think that is probably the one thing that I will regret when we don't have any more Toei involvement, that they never said who in the heck the Phantom Ranger was. That's sad. And I don't think we've even done that in Boom Comics. I'll have to go back. I don't think so. I haven't read all of them, but I really need to go back because I have them on my Kindle. So in Comixology, I've been buying stuff through Amazon and just watching it or reading them on my Kindle. But I really, on my Fire tablet, I really need to see. I don't think we've ever referenced, and no one's ever referenced the identity of the Phantom Ranger since Power Rangers in Space, since he was introed. So that's interesting. I really would love before it would be awesome to me if that was one of the things in this series that we got to find out who the Phantom Ranger was. I think that would be very cool. I wish they had a morphing call in the movie instead of just magically morphing as the suit goes around their bodies. Yeah, I agree with that. Although I did like how their suits looked. I thought their suits looked pretty cool. I just wish they did more. I really do. I wish that they did a lot more. We got a lot of character development, but not a lot of Ranger action. So that was kind of like, for me, disappointing. And then Zordon was kind of selfish. So I don't know. That's not the Zordon we remember. The super mega powers were made by Gosei being sleep fractioning the Ranger powers into keys of the command center and battlefield. Gosei's been doing a lot. What do you think of the Power Rangers unauthorized bootleg universe? That was really cool. Especially her name went out of my head too. My girl from Battlestar Galactica, Katie Sackhoff. Man, I don't think there's anything she does that I don't like. So that was cool. That was really cool. There are a lot of Power Ranger fan films out there too that are pretty good. They're actually really well done and really thought out. So I already talked about Unworthy, but there's a lot of them out there that I've seen. Not just American made. There's a few made in the Philippines I thought were pretty good. There were a lot of original Power Ranger series. There's one that I really, maybe I'm hoping I'm not getting Power Rangers Unauthorized actually confused with, because there's one with Katie Sackhoff where she is Kimberly, I believe. And, everybody got their butt kicked and blah, blah, blah. And then there's another one that had a Blue Ranger female as the lead. And I don't think it ever got released. And it was really well done from they did a trailer, but it never got released. And I can't remember what the name of that one was, but that one looked really cool too. And I remember her in the trailer, she broke into the facility and she stole the morpher. And I just thought that was really neat. But I mean, I don't know if it was a legal thing or whatever. They just never did anything with it. So I wish that they had a morphing call. I think I already did that one. Sorry about that. Phantom Ranger was Noah creating the Kazar sabers and Galactic Beast DNA to save Zordon. Okay, so that's what you're writing. But who is Phantom Ranger, I wonder, really? Because we didn't have a Noah back when Cassie in space had a crush on the Phantom Ranger. And then it's just so weird that he just never, we never saw the Phantom Ranger. I think did he make an appearance in Lost Galaxy? He made an appearance in something. It might have even been Megaforce. I don't know. I know he's made an appearance, but we don't know who he is. And I always thought that was weird. And I think the original Gold Ranger's name was Trey. I know he was an alien. And I don't remember if he was triplets or twins. It's been a minute, guys. I'll have to go back and look at that. But before Jason got the power. But yeah. That's always been one of the biggest mysteries for me in Power Ranger lore is who in the heck is the Phantom Ranger? People keep thinking it was Billy. I mean, he was pretty much with the Alien Rangers, but I guess he could have. Huh. I don't know who they thought he was going to be. Or who they imagined, because I kind of figured going in they had plans for Phantom Ranger, but then they just kind of dropped it. I don't know. Hi, Kevin. Try for it. Thank you. And he was triplets. Man, see, I'm almost 45 and the memory is still kind of working. Didn't have to look it up. I'm so happy. You guys don't understand. When you hit your 40s, you don't remember crap. So the fact that I even got Trey out of my mouth, I'm giving myself a gold star. Give myself a gold star. Of course, in LGBT land, I can't say that. I'm inside joke, Kevin. I like Alpha 5 in the movie because he was a lot more quirky than Alpha 5 in the show. I believe that he's on par with the Brooklyn Alpha 5 from In Space. I agree with that. I love Brooklyn Alpha 5. I love his voice. He reminded me of a higher pitched version of Wheeler from Captain Planet. He was played by triplets and voiced by Brad Hawkins when he was morphed. Wasn't Brad Hawkins from VR Troopers? I always forget the actor's name, so just correct me if I'm right or wrong. I just want to know what happened to the Zeo powers because apparently not even the actors know. Yeah, I just figured they just went somewhere. I'm like, it's like when Adam wasn't able to morph without injuring himself in Power Rangers in Space using the Mastodon, coin. But then he did later on again with no problem. Like, and Jason did with no problem. So sorry, guys. For some reason, I love this lipstick, but it goes away. We had to do a break. Did you ever watch VR Troopers? I did, the entire season. I did. And I think I even talked about it. I said I love the fact that Caitlin's car reminded me a lot of the car in Power Rangers that Billy built that they would have used to fly the command center. So yeah, her little red car. But yeah, I did. It was Ryan, Caitlin, and what was that dude's name? Oh no, I forgot his name. Why? Don't tell me. I'm gonna look it up because I was. And look at me. I'm a whole freaking minority and forgot the black guy's name. What is wrong with me? What is wrong? What is wrong? Why? Okay, so we had Ryan, JB. That's what it's JB and Caitlin. Yeah. And then of course we had Professor Hart and blah blah blah. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed VR Troopers for what it was. It was pretty cool concept. And I mean, it didn't last long. I think they did it. Didn't they do a crossover with MMPR at one point? I thought they did. I remember Caitlin at least. So it was either Caitlin or she was playing somebody else. But I thought there was or it might have been in Zeo. I'll have to go back and look at that too. But I could have swore that Caitlin's actress was in either MMPR or Zeo. For some reason or another. I don't remember why, but I mean, it's a metal hero. It's a Japanese metal hero series that got adapted, and it was actually very well done. And I didn't have a problem with it. But yeah, VR Troopers was cool. I think it really should have had more seasons, but there was a lot of drama. And then we later found out with Caitlin's actress that there was a lot of shady stuff happening with the producers, and she didn't feel comfortable and she left. So yeah. The actress who played Caitlin guest started a love interest as a new character. I thought so. I remember seeing her in it. So yeah, okay. See that memory? You see that memory? It's not all there, but it's trying. The Sentinel Knight did restore the powers of the previous Rangers he selected in Once a Ranger. That's true. That is true. But I don't know where anybody's powers go when they leave. Like just like when I referenced in Power Rangers Overdrive, when we had Tori back in her Blue Wind Ranger powers, from Ninja Storm, when she supposedly threw her coin, to steal. I'm gonna look his name up. I think it's Lothar, but it's man, it's been a minute. Ninja Storm. I'm going to say it was Lothar, but it may not have been Lothar. So let's see. It was Lothar. I'm sorry, guys. You don't know how I'm celebrating right now with my memory skills. I'm doing great. But yeah, I never understood what happened to their powers. Like they destroy their powers, or they give their powers back, or they give it up. Like Wild Force. How Wild Force ended is exactly how Gal Ranger did when they had to give their jackets back and give their G phones back, or Gal phones back. And I think they called theirs G phones. And then go on with their lives. But then you see these crossovers, and then they just have their powers back. And I'm like, well, who just decided that was how that was going to be? It's interesting. That is very interesting. There was behind the scenes drama on VR Troopers. Yep. It was not with the actors, but with the producer. I think one of the producers was actually sexually harassing Caitlin. If you if you go to YouTube and then you put in VR Troopers, Caitlin's actress, it'll bring up the interview. She talks about it. It was not good. Jason, after Legendary Battle, wanted to end the guys who attacked him. Then he lost his power coin, Orion, born on Teresa to protect him from the attacker. You should write an entire fanfic, Emmanuel, just throughout the entire history of Power Rangers. I think that would be a really good read. Lot Joe, and she got it back in the Dino Thunder crossover. Huh. Okay. So they just kept it. Because you know how sometimes like when they do that, like when Dino Thunder did the crossover with SPD, like they had their powers because they went back in time. But like in their end of their show, they were Rangers anymore, which makes me wonder. I think they still had their abilities though, like when they touched the stone or the Dino Gems, and then they each got an ability. I think they got to keep that. So I think like the Red Ranger was really fast. And of course, the Yellow Ranger was able to do like the Banshee Sonic Scream. And then the Blue Ranger was really strong or had armor. I mean, his arms can turn into like kind of like really hard, like stone. I think they got to keep that, but I think they couldn't morph anymore. But I have to go back and look at that because I can't remember. But yeah, like SPD obviously were safe. They were never going to lose their powers because like Deca Rangers, they're space cops. And what always tickles me is people are like, oh my God, when when their morphers get damaged, they literally can just have somebody fix it. I'm like, well, that's the entire point. They never got their Ranger abilities from an ancient stone or a gem or, an animal. They were space cops. They had tech that allowed them to get Power Ranger gear and then eventually get swap modes to fight crime with other aliens because that's what they were. That's basically what Deca Ranger is. So whenever they would get promoted, their color would change. I love the fact that in the very first episode of SPD, Sky didn't even realize what color he was going to be. He assumed like his dad, he was going to be the Red Ranger. And then he was like, I'm blue? Like, what? So, I mean, I thought that was cool. SPD, the whole premise of SPD is cool. I don't know why Jack gave up his Red Ranger coin or his Red Ranger SPD morpher because he had, like, I understood he fell in love and he wanted to help his girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, dude, but, but Bridge eventually became the Red Ranger because I know he did it. He came in as a crossover and then he was SPD Red. So, and then there are various teams, which is also cool. There's B team and C. That implies there's a whole slew of teams with different Red Rangers, Pink Rangers, Blue Rangers. It's just really cool. I thought that was very cool. I also thought that Grim Lord was the most interesting part of VR Troopers. Yeah, I liked a lot of the things that they were doing. I love the fact that Caitlin, I think, was a photographer or a reporter. So she was still trying to do her job, but also still trying to fight. And I love the balance between the two. It was like extremely interesting to me. That was actually the most realistic thing I saw because she really had problems doing her job. And like they made it real. Not like Amelia, who apparently, they're making $900 a check apparently, and she never goes to work. Like what story is Amelia working on? You know what I mean? She's not, I haven't seen her do anything or turn anything in. And Jane's just like, meh, because they're Power Rangers. Like they literally, their lives stop and they don't mention anything in their lives until they need something. Like when Javi got the keytar. Now we know he had $900. It's like, okay. I'm like, when did you go to work? I mean, we know you got the internship, but when did you go to work? Because I haven't seen you do a story. I haven't seen you turn anything in. I don't get it. But, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, I enjoyed how the VR Troopers were college kids with jobs. Yeah, and they struggled. They literally struggled. They actually struggled with their lives being VR Troopers. It was very realistic. It wasn't like MMPR didn't have to struggle. Again, Rita let them go to school. So they didn't have to. Those kids were in class every day. They never missed school. So... not like Power Rangers in space, who never graduated from high school. Also, Light and Cruiser and Storm are Robo Knight Zords when they didn't help his evil self. Yeah, I think, I'm telling you, you need to write this out as a story. You really do. I think that you would probably get a lot of people excited about the stuff you're writing because you're putting a lot more thought into Power Ranger lore than anybody. And I'm going to say anybody that's actually written, produced, or directed these shows. So you really should do that. But in the final episode of Dino Thunder, didn't the team had expressed that they feel normal again, implying that they no longer have powers? But I don't think they ever came out and said that. Because I thought, and I'll have to go back and watch Dino Thunder, the first 2 episodes, because I think that the second episode is when they actually first morphed And the first one was when they found the gems and got their abilities. Because if I remember correctly, Kira, who was a Yellow Ranger, got zapped up to the ship and had to scream her way out, basically fight her way out. She used her ability to, and they were able to get her out. But I really thought Tommy said that bonded with their DNA. And if it bonded with their DNA, then that should be forever. Even if they don't have the gem, it bonded with their DNA. They should not have lost that. They should have just basically lost the ability to morph. But again, I could be wrong. I'll have to go back and check it because it's been a minute. But I don't know. I just really thought that's what it was. I thought they actually kept that ability. Just like in Ninja Storm, they had the ninja element powers prior to them even becoming, Ninja Storm. So I kind of feel like maybe the same thing could happen with Dino Thunder, but I have to go back and watch. But Dino Thunder is another series that had a kick-A theme song. I really like their theme song. I think I already read that one. Okay. It's my dream to write for the show. My mom thinks PR is a joke, lasting decades. Multiple moms like you watch on their own. I mean, and that's so sad. I'm sorry. I encourage everyone to keep up with their passions. When I was growing up, my mother thought me reading comic books was silly. My mother was British and Scottish, and she didn't get comics at all. She didn't understand it. She didn't care. It was just silly little, drawings. She did have a healthy love of everything British, including Doctor Who. Like, she loved Doctor Who. And I didn't even realize as a child I was watching Doctor Who. I had met a friend in Texas who showed me the show, and then I realized I've seen Tom Baker. And I didn't realize that because that was my Sesame Street. So, I mean, today everyone's like, Doctor Who. And I'm like, I remember seeing the Cybermen when they looked like they had aluminum foil wrapped around their heads. And the Daleks were like boxes, cardboard box cutouts, it's just basically a trial of the times. Your mother's always going to say, oh, this is stupid. There's something she liked in her past that her parents probably said about, something that she liked. Oh, why are you doing that? It's stupid. There was a time where if you were into rock and roll music, Motown music, rap music, everyone's like, oh, why are you into that? I mean, it's just what it is. But if you like it and you enjoy it, I don't care how old you are, just do it. I am almost 45. I still watch Disney movies. I watch Power Rangers. I watch Sentai. I read comic books. I love cartoons. It's just what it is. It's what it is. And I'm not going to stop, and you can't make me. So I don't care if you think it's stupid or silly or not. I don't care. So you have to kind of develop that. It's what it is. Check out Pamela Retro. He had a video explaining what happened to the Zeo powers. Can you put that in the comments? Because I always, you're really good at doing that, Kevin. So I will check that out because I will not remember that. I just won't. Comics are awesome. I just want to write for PR rest of life and worship God. Aw. Maybe you should write up a treatment, kind of like everything you've been writing in here. And then send it off to figure out who you can send it off to with Boom Comics, or look on social media and see if they, how you can send off submissions and stuff like that and see what they say. Because, I mean, you're very detailed. I mean, you've done a lot of research, and you never know. You never know who you might impress. So, and then also, Emmanuel, why don't you come up with your own Power Ranger series? And you don't even have to call it Power Rangers. You can come up with your own team of heroes that kind of are based on the Power Rangers in a way, but do their own thing, because there's tons of series. Just Do Risers out there is one of them. There are a lot of series out there that are inspired by Power Rangers, but are not Power Rangers or Sentai. So, I mean, just a thing. But yeah, I mean, you're very passionate, so don't give up on that. I think that's awesome. When I was little, my mom watched Power Rangers with me and my older brother, and her favorite PR to this day is Tommy. I mean, I think Tommy was everybody's favorite growing up because Tommy just did everything. Tommy's one of the only Rangers ever to have multiple suits in multiple colors. I mean, he can say he was green. He can say he was white. He can say he was red. He can say he's black. I mean, he is OP. So no other Rangers can say that. And that's pretty cool. But again, I do like that Hasbro has, I think I said this a few times, I'm going to say it again. I like that Hasbro has given us the first ever black, gold, 6 Dino Ranger. And that this is the first series where almost the entire team is minority. And the Red Ranger is half black, half Japanese, and I think he's part European. But he claims his blackness. So we got a Red Ranger who claims his blackness, even if he's half black like me. He claims his blackness. And then we got a Gold Ranger that's black. We've never had 2 on the same team at the same time. I'm like, what? I'm like, what you doing, Hasbro? I see you, Hasbro. So I'm extremely happy about that. Thank you, Kevin. I love Grand Sizer. I do too. and Tomica Rescue series. Yeah, Grand Sizer was good. Justy Riser was good. Yeah, I have them all. I've seen every episode. They're silly as heck, but I love them. Because in Tomica Rescue series, they like fight over stupid crap. like it's like always fight. Like they infight, but then they all support each other while they fight. But there's a constant fight going on in that series because they only get along sometimes. It's actually really funny. Skull crunching me and Zeltrek should fight Cat doing master morphing time with the battleizer Gosei gives out to the current team. Yeah, I know you're a Cat fan. Are you a Cat fan as in a Cat from SPD or as in Cat from MMPR Zeo Turbo? So when Catherine came out as the Pink Ranger, it's just like what I said with Izzy. You know how when Izzy morphs, her testicles go away? It's hilarious to me. Whenever she would morph, when Catherine, Kate, Cat, whatever you want to call her, they call her Cat. When she would morph, she went from like 5'11" to like 5'3". She would shrink. I was like, they did that in Ninja Steel too, because the Pink Ranger was very short. But in Ninja, Kasumi, who was the Pink Ranger, Momo Ranger, was taller than the White Ranger. So it's just a weird thing. But they cast a woman who was the one that played, I think her name was Zoe in Ninja Steel. Is her name Zoe? I think it was. She was very tall. So I always thought that was funny. But yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't Jem and Gemma the first 2 Asians to be on the same team? Ooh. Let me think. I'm going down the list because I think you might be all right. I think RPM was the first time we had 2. No. Ninja Storm. Because Blake was Asian and Cam was Asian. So they were the first ones to have 2 Asians. And then RPM was the second. Now, if we're going to go by gender, then yes. RPM was the first time having a female and male Asian in the cast. But no, if we're going to give that honor to anyone, it's going to be Blake and Cam in Ninja Storm. But that was pretty good. I like that question. Yeah, so now I'm thinking, I'm going down the list. I'm like, who else is first? We need some more first. And I'm like, because Cassie was the first Asian Pink Ranger. Then we had Rose. I think she was the second. And yeah, in Operation Overdrive. And then Mia was the third in Samurai. So yeah. The first male Asian actor was, of course, Adam. And then we got, I want to say that was SPD. No, it was Lightspeed Rescue. What was his name? Oh, what's his name in Lightspeed Rescue? I forgot his name. He was a Blue Ranger. I'm gonna have to think about it because it wasn't. I don't think it was Chad, but yeah, he was the second, and then Lost Galaxy. Yeah, and then Lost Galaxy because we had Kai. Yeah, I think that kind of set the mode because we also had, because Time Force had and Blue Yeah, the Blue Ranger was Asian. So yeah, they kind of set the mode. A lot of the time, the Blue Ranger is Asian. I don't know why, they just do it. But yeah, was it Kai? So no Kai. Hold on. Now I gotta go look. Light Speed Rescue Blue Ranger. Let's go look at his name. It was Chad. Yeah, I was right. Chad. So Chad was Lightspeed Rescue and Kai was Lost Galaxy. I think. Let's make sure. Galaxy Blue Ranger. Let me make sure, guys. Hold on. Yep, Kai Chen. Look at you, girl. Look at you, girl. And I did this with hardly no sleep. I'm doing it today, guys. So yeah. So Chad was Lightspeed Rescue. Kai was Lost Galaxy. And it just kept going from that point. Like we literally just kept going. I mean, after that, it seemed like every Blue Ranger, for the most part, every Blue Ranger was Asian. Even now with Ollie. I mean, he is, but to be fair, if we're really going to break it down, technically Zeto's half Japanese in real life. The Green Ranger, Izzy, is half, her last name Rao is Indian. So her talent agency page lists her as Euro Asian, and she's from New Zealand. But her last name is an name you commonly see in India. So she's probably half Indian, half something else, but which is not Hispanic at all. But again, she's an adopted character. So people better not give her crap for that because she's adopted by the warden. She's not the bio kid like Javi is. So she gets some slack for that. So I'm waiting for people to say something about it. I'm like, if established, she's literally not a biological child of the warden. So they can bite it. Yep, Blue Ranger was Lucas. But yeah, I mean, you just keep going down the list. In Ninja Storm, they didn't have the blue. Well, technically they did because Navy Thunder was Blake. So, and he's Asian. Yeah. I mean, we literally can just sit here and just go down the list of all the shows that had an Asian. The only, I know we didn't have, I'm pretty sure we didn't in Operation Overdrive. We had Rose, Pink Ranger was Asian. But I don't think there, hold on. I gotta look. I'm a big Bokanger fan, so that's probably why I don't like. I think Dax was though. Was Dax? Yeah, Dax was Asian. So that's the third show that had two Asians in the cast because Rose was pink and she's Asian in real life. And then we had Dax as a Blue Ranger. So in Operation Overdrive. It was problematic that Will was black and was the Black Ranger again. I thought they learned with Zach, but they didn't. They didn't. But yeah. But if you really start breaking down all of the like nationalities, like they said in MMPR, Jason was supposed to be Hispanic and he was red. Trini was yellow. Zach was black. And then you had the All-American boy Billy as blue and the All-American girl Kimberly as pink. Was problematic as heck. Problematic. So yeah. But I hate that in 3 Disney seasons they didn't have a black person. Yeah, I know Ninja Storm didn't. Dino Thunder didn't. Let's see. Operation Overdrive, wasn't that Disney? No, but they didn't either. Oh, and Maji and not Maji for Mystic Force didn't either. As a matter of fact, I don't think I saw one black person at all in Mystic Force. Well, I don't know what to say about that, guys. I really, really don't. But the actress who plays Madison is Australian, and she's actually of Asian descent. And then the Pink Ranger was Filipino. So we had 2 Asians in that cast. So I guess if you have 2 Asians, you're not allowed to have a black character. I don't know. I don't know how this works. I don't know how this works. But you're right. I don't think Disney casts any black characters outside of Operation Overdrive. If they were in Disney time, which I think they were, we had Will, and they actually made him the Black Ranger, so that was also very problematic. But yeah. I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say. Jungle Fury was problematic because they only had one minority in the whole effing series. Like, everybody was white. Everybody was white except for the Blue Ranger. I was like, really? Everybody. You mean to tell me even your Sixth Ranger, or technically, I can't really say Sixth Ranger. Technically, he was the Fifth Ranger. But even the Rhino Ranger is white. Everybody's white. Your supporting character is white. Everybody's white except for the Blue Ranger in Jungle Fury. I know. And Wild Force, we had the Blue Ranger. What was his name? Danny? No, Danny was the Black Ranger, wasn't he? What was Wild Force Blue's name? I mean, I cannot. Was it? Wasn't Will? What was his name? What was your name? I must know. Max. His name was Max. So thank you, Max Cooper. Thank you, Jed. You were on it. Power Ranger Samurai was problematic. Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, and I've said this, I've actually rewritten that whole plot for my own understanding. I said it would have made more sense if all of Samurai's Power Rangers, like their ancestors, aided the original Japanese team, and something happened and the team got separated. Because, you know, if you watch Shinkanger, the Pink Ranger's mother was in a wheelchair. Like, all of them had like bad stuff. There's a reason the powers got passed down to the kids. So my theory is that each one of these Japanese Power Rangers, Samurai Power Rangers, or whatever, came across one of the current team's ancestors, and the ancestors did something to help them. And because they didn't have kids, they passed their powers on to them for their future generations as a way of saying, thank you for saving my life, or thank you for helping me. We continue. We don't have kids of our own. Please continue our line, blah, blah, blah. I would have been cool with that. But you are not going to tell me that there is a man with blonde hair and blue eyes who literally has a Japanese last name and has a Japanese heritage, and they're running around using kanji symbols, calling them power symbols. And, you know, you got Emily from the trailer park. I mean, I can't. I just can't. That was stupid. It was stupid. And then when they would morph, they had ninja clothes. They'd have like the whole ninja gown, and then they go into samurai mode. So they actually were ninjas first, then samurais. That didn't make any sense. So yeah. Jaden is an interesting character. Emily was, I mean, all of them. And then, I mean, even Mia was Korean. Mia wasn't Japanese. That's interesting all in itself. I'm married to a Korean American. I know how Koreans and Japanese usually feel about each other. So, so problematic. So problematic. At least Jungle made their own original Rangers. Yeah. And I mean, they actually studied, and some of it was really close to, you know, what we would see in Geki Ranger, like how, you know, Ron and all of them trained with different masters and learning different animal kung fu styles. That's pretty cool. I thought that was an interesting way of doing that. So I had no problem with that. Dino Thunder SPD did have African American Rangers. Yes. Dino Thunder did. The Blue Ranger was, and then SPD, of course, Jack the Red Ranger. So yeah, they did. So I knew at least two of them did, but like a majority of the Disney shows didn't have any. So Ninja Storm did, because Shane was the Red Ranger. But technically Shane, I don't think Shane is, okay, hold up. His nationality, hold up. And I really feel bad looking him up because I know he passed away. That's really, really sad. Poor Magasiva. He's Samoan. So yeah, Samoan's an entire, I mean, it's not, it's a lot of different nationalities rolled into one. But yeah, what I didn't even read in December of 2019 that Shane's actor was convicted of domestic assault against his wife 15 days before his death. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like looking at that stuff, guys. It's like, hey, Chastian. I'm glad you're able to get here. Yeah, we've been going for a minute. Mystic Force is mostly a white cast. Yeah, except for the sisters. You're right. Well, no, because the Red Ranger is, I think, Iranian. I have to go look it up again. I thought he was either Arabian or Iranian, and so he technically is not. So he's a minority. And Madison was, and Vita was. The only true white one in that group was Chip. I mean, to be honest. So yeah, that wasn't a fool. Yasuke, the first African samurai. I mean, I would love for them to have, well, they wouldn't do that though. You know how, like, if you ever watch Die Ranger and you saw like their grandkids and you know that they have like future generations of Die Ranger, it'd be cool to see something like that in one of the Power Rangers. Like, we passed our powers down to these kids and these are the new ones. I mean, it would be pretty cool. Not Samurai, because Samurai is just problematic, but you know, another team. I think that would be kind of cool. Would they do that? Probably not. Probably not. Let's see here. Neo Saban is racist for making the Blackskins the leaders. Kevin's boring but resilient. For not making the Blackskins the leaders. Which one's Kevin's boring but resilient? I'll have to translate that later because I'm not understanding it. I'm sorry. Let's hit that like button, y'all. Thanks. I'm telling you, I need to have Cheshin. I'm like, screen cap that and just put it out like on every video. What about Zander? What about Zander, Jed? What about Zander? Zander, wasn't he? I really don't know anything beyond that. It's just like in RPM. Oh, what was his name? It wasn't Aiden. He was Scottish. Was it Aiden? What was his name in RPM? RPM. I really need to go look at that because I don't remember. Flynn, right? His name was Flynn McAllister. Yeah, and he was Scottish. So, yeah. I did like that. Izzy Oz? Hold up. His name always throws me off. Ziggy. That Ziggy and Dr. K got married in real life. I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you, Jed. Yeah, Flynn. But as for Zander, I don't know. I thought Zander was just white Australian, but again, I mean, I look ambiguous, so he could just be ambiguous. So, I mean, I don't know. That is a good question, though. What is Zander? I mean, I've never took the time to look him up. I probably should, but see, it's so weird because again, I love Maji Ranger. So when I see, you know, Zander and Vita and Chip, and you know, when I see all of them, and then I think about, you know, Oni-chan, like Makito, and I think about Hoka and Ulala and Kai and, you know, Tsubasa. I'm like, it's so different. You know, they act so different. Like Pink saying, "Oh, pink is not my favorite color," even though I did like that, you know, that line, "Pink is not my color," and trust me, it's not going to be yours either. I kind of like that line. It was kind of badass, but she was nothing like Hoka. Technically, Madison was a little bit like Urala, so I can give her that. They're both shy and they're both like the meek ones in the family because like Urala is pretty much the middle child, so I get that. So they all, it just, Xander to me was not Makito at all. Like in no way. So, but to be fair, Maji Rangers were all siblings, and in Mystic Force, only Pink and Blue were related. So our sisters or whatever. So I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing. I mean, we literally can compare Sentai counterparts to Power Ranger counterparts all day. I have things to say about them all. So like all of them. But at the same time, I separate it because they're not meant to be clones of each other. Like some of them are more similar than others. Like even Ninja Storm and Hurricaneger they're pretty similar. If you really look at Hurricaneger, especially when you look at Go Rider and how they basically became, a team with the Ninja Storm or the Wind Rangers, that's absolutely what happened with, the Hurricanegers and the Go Riders. Even down to the whole Blake Tory thing with with Ishu and the Nami, it's the same. Like that whole thing was the same. So they add in character, which really isn't, because they did have the Samurai Ranger in Hurricaneger, but you never knew his identity in Hurricaneger, but we knew his identity was Cam in Ninja Storm. So they actually made that, which is cool. They made it a legacy power, as in Hurricaneger, basically the Shurikenger, which was the Green Ranger, was actually working for their basically version of a kind of a ninja goddess. So like it's a whole different thing. So, it is what it is. But other than that, Ninja Storm and Hurricanes were very close. Jungle Fury was pretty close in terms of story to Geki Ranger. If I just go down now, Mega Ranger was not close to Power Rangers in space. As a matter of fact, these kids were in high school, and they were working for Digicam and like fighting they were literally fighting monsters while they were still in school. So they had that kind of in common, except for Power Rangers in space. They just stopped going to school. They're like, who needs to graduate? I'm like, we don't need a diploma. So yeah. Megaforce may not be the best, but I explain throughout this. That's fine. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to diss on your opinion or your like for Megaforce. I just didn't like it. I prefer Gokaiger. I prefer their story. Even down to the music. I love everything about Gokaiger. I just don't like Megaforce. And I don't really care about Goseiger. I mean, again, it was a cute show, Angels Saving the Earth. So I don't care about Goseiger. I don't care about Goseiger. I don't care about Megaforce in general. And Super Megaforce just made me mad. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. Never gonna like it. I mean, if I was one of those people that just didn't give it a shot, because I did, then that would be one thing. I did look at it and I just didn't like it. I'm sorry. I just don't. It's just like Power Ranger Overdrive. I don't like it. I like Bokanger. I don't like, Power Rangers Overdrive. But I like Power Rangers. So it's not every show. It's just what it is. Everybody has their preference. Unfortunately, Megaforce is never going to be mine. But again, if you like it, hey, you like what you like. I like characters in comics that my really good friend Ernie Blurb Without Fear does not like, and vice versa. And we are still friends. We can have conversations. We respect that and we move on. That's literally what happens. It's like, all right, that's kind of how the world should be. Not only that, majority of the fandom, including me, considered Megaforce as the worst season. There's a lot of controversy recently with the Red Ranger himself. Oh, really? It feels like the Red Rangers are all getting into that. I just read the thing about Shane and his wife before he died. I know that Wild Force Red got arrested for, I think, assault. I have no idea what's going on with Megaforce's Red, but man, like they just need to stop. I know that Red Ranger for Megaforce was specifically told to act wooden. I feel like I missed all the drama. Really? Because he surely did act wooden. He really, really did not act at all. I literally thought something might have been wrong with him. So I'm glad you said that, because but I want to know what drama there is, because I didn't realize we had drama for Megaforce Red. So that is very interesting. Let's see. What is their actor's name? Because I don't know that either. I don't. Be real with you. I don't know. Cast. His name is Andrew Gray. Andrew Gray. Okay. What did you do, Andrew? Did you do something? Did you? My happiness. He extends his support towards Asian America. That's good, I guess. He launched a therapy thing called My Happiness on social media. He's healing from mental health condition. Okay. I mean, I don't see the drama though. Like, do you know what happened with him? I'm confused. I'll send you a link through Instagram, but I'm going to have to revise it again since I was thinking of recasting the yellow, green, and white Rangers. Okay, that's cool. That is cool. I do hate Emma, though, and the Sentinel Knight stole the Corona Aurora from the Armada. I remember Barrack had the Aurora box. Yeah, that show was a mess. I'm sorry. That show was... Woo. A mess. A mess. A mess. All right, we have 5 minutes, guys. We're gonna be at the 2-hour mark. You know, I try to stay under, but you guys get me so engaged in this conversation. So, you know, I'm not blaming you. You guys are awesome. But yeah, I did feel bad because normally I have this video like just filmed and edited and posted. We had some internet issues all day, so that's why I popped the stream up because I wanted to make sure I got it done. But yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like we got a lot of productive things, you know, talked about with Power Rangers on the entire spectrum. So I guess this is a good thing because normally when I just film a video, we don't get to talk about the Rangers in like this kind of scope. So it's kind of cool. We're Pink Ranger Emma, but the team is the most human and persistent team you get. I think so. I mean, I actually, if you want to talk about human teams, like the ones that just seem more based in reality, I like Lightspeed Rescue because all of them had issues and like they were all dealing with their own stuff, especially, you know, Dana dealing with the fact that her brother, she thought who was dead, who became the Titanium Ranger, which is interesting because that's not a Go-Go 5 character. It was completely made up for Lightspeed. That, you know, she thought he was dead and the father thinking that the son is dead and then realizing that he had to choose between, you know, trying to save the son, trying to save the daughter, but the son thinking the father actually, you know, chose Dana over him when in reality he was snatched and dealing with all that family drama. I thought that was really real. And, you know, having like Kelsey have all these insecurities about being a Ranger and, you know, and having like, it's just, there was just so much stuff, so many things happening in Lightspeed. I just thought that was really cool. I really thought that was pretty human. And then they were like, literally, they were first responders that were Rangers. So they were still first responders. And I thought that was cool because in Go-Go 5, just like in Lightspeed Rescue, they had rescue jobs. So you had, you know, the Red Ranger was a firefighter. The Blue Ranger was on the fire brigade too, and he dealt with chemicals. We had Green, I think, he was a rescue pilot. He usually for choppers, rescue chopper pilot or whatever. And then the Yellow Ranger was a police officer. And then Matsuri, the Pink Ranger, the sister, was an ambulance or EMT driver. Or she was an EMT, basically. All of them were first responders who also were a Sentai team. So they kept that. You know, I think Kelsey was the only one that wasn't technically, but then again, I don't know because she climbed mountains and things like that. And she's very athletic, but I think she was a search and rescue person. They said something about that in the series, but all of them had, you know, kind of a rescue type job. So I kind of like that. I don't know. I think that they were very human. Megaforce was not very human to me. They were teenagers that were pretty much generic versions of MMPR. So, I mean, they just weren't. And if you thought they were, like I said, I can't tell you you're wrong because that is your opinion. So apparently the thing with Andrew Gray is whether or not he's abusive to his co-star in Empire Bling. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a mess. I meant that human themes such as dreams, honor, perseverance, robots act human, robo knights search human history with knowing, love, and jokes. I mean, don't all the Rangers have dreams and goals and honor and perseverance? I mean, isn't that like a quality? As for robots acting human, Alpha 5 acts human all the time. So, I mean, technically, if we're going by Power Rangers, then Alpha 5 was the very first robot and he acted normal or a human, like a human being. So, I don't know. Like I said, but we all see things differently. So, it is what it is. I saw it on Twitter one day and he was like on a reality show and he was being overly aggressive over the phone with a woman that was trying to tell him that what she did isn't right. He was mad. Wow. Maybe that's why he came out with the mental health therapy thing to save his image. I don't know. Like I said, I stopped really thinking about the Rangers' personal lives because it's hard to suspend your disbelief when you don't. So whatever they do, I don't care because it's just like with actors in Hollywood. We were talking about the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. Do I think that she should be canceled too? Yes. If she was hitting him, she should be canceled just like he was canceled. Am I still going to see Aquaman 2 if it comes out and she's in it? Yeah. Because it's a character. Yeah, she's an idiot, but it's a character. I just can't have their personal lives in my head because then it'll make you not want to ever watch anything because we have no idea what any of these actors are doing behind the scenes. Let's just be real about it. We don't know. So you'll start hating everyone, like absolutely everyone. So I try to separate it, because it's not real. The characters are not real. And I figure karma will get whoever in the end anyway. So it is what it is. Now, will I say things are problematic and call it out? Yeah. If you're racist, homophobic, a sexist, whatever. Yeah, I'll call you out. And it will make me not want to support you, but I can't be that person that just like dwells on. I just can't do it. It's like, okay, this whole franchise, I'm going to punish every actor in this movie because of this one idiot. I just can't do that. Now, if Amber Heard was doing her own show, yeah, I wouldn't watch it. She's a one-woman show. She'd be all right. I'm like, not interested. Nate is the warden's nephew, both crackheads. Wow. Okay. LOL, Chasten. Are you laughing at me? Laughing at me. Okay. Woo. I'm glad this is a Saturday, technically Sunday almost. Because we actually are in here late, but we got our discussion done. We had our review. I asked the questions that needed to be asked about Power Rangers Dino Fury because we need to know this information because, it's just, I had to nitpick it. But, leave a comment. Let's talk about it. If you have any other observations, anything I missed, or you just want to talk about Power Rangers, obviously, I just literally spent an next hour talking about other Power Ranger shows. So I'm completely down with that. So post comments, questions, concerns, theories, remembrances, whatever in the comments. But I'm going to head off because it is now almost midnight. It's 11:47 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm not sure what area of the world all of you are in, but I'm sure it's either early for you or late for you. And I appreciate you jumping into this very late stream. You guys are awesome. We will also have another late stream tomorrow because of Charmed, because Charmed is back tomorrow. And I got to do my Charmed theme. My stream has to happen. So we will probably have lots to talk about tomorrow. So we will be doing that. But you guys are amazing. I love you so much. And I hope you have a very good rest of your day or evening or morning or whatever. Have a great time. See you later.